Juice World. What can I say, man? That guy, like Juice World. If you've ever heard that track, Lucid Dream, I'm pretty sure about 70% of the population, even if they don't listen to rap, has heard Lucid Dreams and loves that track. Like Juice was such a huge artist, and I don't think people realize how big he was. I'll say one thing with Juice. I remember the first time I actually heard of him, and it was that track called Black and White. And he was in the video.
Hmm.
He was talking about, I'm with my black friend doing cocaine with my black friends. And in my head, I'm like, man, I hate that this dude is like promoting, like doing cocaine and like even promoting it to like, his black friends and his white friends. And I was like, who is this guy? Like it sounds like great music, but why is he like talking
So
about
druggy.
yeah, just like all these drugs and like I'm just like, oh, this is another dude just like benefiting off like talking about drugs and like influencing the youth. But man, I couldn't have been more wrong. Like the more I heard Juice, like he really was living that life. He really was doing that. And that's what I love about Juice World. If you hear a Juice World song, he's not hiding behind his lines. He's literally telling you what he's feeling, how he's feeling. And I think that straightforwardness adds to the intensity of a lot of his songs. I love Goodbye and Good Riddance. That's I guess his first album he put out. If you haven't heard it, man, that is a fucking classic. Like that whole album, like it's incredible how he put it together. Like it's all the songs are fucking hits. Like it's crazy. And I believe Lucid Dreams is on that one. And then he put out Death Race for Love. And that one was really sad because I feel like that was showing, his decline mentally, how the addiction was getting to him. I remember there was one song where he was saying like, oh, like talking to his girl, he's like, oh, you'll be better without me. Like all these things that you could see he was, dealing with a lot of depression and he was asking for help. He was crying for help. That track Wishing Well, always, I don't really like to hear that song because he's literally, crying for help. He's telling you like, I'm going to pass away because of these pills, but I need these pills to be where I'm at. And so it's this kind of like, uh,
Like a purgatory.
yeah, it's this purgatory, man. Like he's caught in between, using the pills because that's what makes him feel good. That's what's always helped him through these, feelings and whatnot. And not taking the pills and having to go to rehab, probably having to have some type of physical withdrawals, having people not listen to his music because they were listening to, a lot of the drug talk. But man, that dude was so talented.
Yeah.
His ability to freestyle like is incredible. He did like an hour long freestyle. He would freestyle all his songs. Um, a great voice. Really worked well with the auto tune. A very raspy voice. Very unique. His voice is something I always admire about him. Like he has such a unique voice. I'll also say like, he was really a hard lover. Like you could tell this kid, he passed away at 21 years old. He was still going through, the younger years and that younger love. As most of us go through, a really significant breakup, he was going through it with, millions of dollars, fame, drugs, people trying to kill him probably because he's a rapper. All these things I think contributed to the downfall of Juice WRLD. And I'll say also his new album Legends Never Die. That's a great album. I would check it out. That's his posthumous album, but it's a really good one. I think it does justice to his legacy. Again, very sad. So much potential. Just what a waste.
I think it's yeah, I'll highlight the kid's talent because I think you see so much of like the melodic style and just like his kind of super crooning style when you hear the singles, the Lucid Dreams and whatnot. But this kid could fucking rap and like, yeah, hour long freestyles on Tim Westwood. That's just like, whoa, this is a singer doing this? Really dope. And yeah, really also someone who's going through it. But you see how the culture kind of does us in too. Because I remember, well, before I'll touch on how dope he was already doing collaborations with some of the industry veterans, including Future. They did a whole album together. And Future is someone who also talks a lot about doing drugs, specifically codeine. And I remember an interview between the two of them or something where I hear that Juice WRLD thanked Future because Future's music essentially, he's like, man, I looked up to your music and it kind of helped me to get through and taught me to get through, and almost saying like you helped influence me to turn to drugs. Drugs are dope, essentially. And Future was kind of like, whoa, like, yes, Future, does a lot of drugs, but doesn't do as much as, his music might make you seem. Like, he's not leaned out 24/7. Like, how do you make music if you're leaned out 24/7? It's kind of, it wouldn't work. So he's like, whoa, and not even realizing the influence that his music had and does have. And it's like you're venting your own pain sometimes, but you're also part of the cycle. And it's so weird because how do you then stop it? Because it's like we just said, some of the best music comes from people like that who are going through a tough time. But then it's also like our own music kind of influences other people. And I know there's some people, who've never heard the other side of hip hop. They never heard the Lauryn Hills. They never heard Immortal Technique. They've never heard MF Doom or just weird hip hop. You know what I mean? They've just heard one lane, and that's all that they know how to express themselves in this form. And that's kind of sucks because it's not just kids in the hood who are having this issue, and that's already bad enough because that proliferates and continues the violence. But it's white kids in the suburbs who are hearing this, and they're thinking this is what black is. And so it's just bad all around, and we lose great artists because of it.
Yep.
But man, rest in peace to Juice, because that dude was fucking amazing, and we're gonna continue to listen to that music for sure.
Yeah, man. Like, probably one of the biggest artists coming out of Chicago of all time. He was so big that like you didn't even know he was from Chicago. He was, in terms of like artists, he was like, I would say a level art, like level one artist, like
For
top
real.
tier.
And that's one other thing too. When I hear this shit, man, it makes me pray for those who are still with us. I shouldn't even say that. I barely fucking pray. It makes my heart and thoughts go out to the people who are still with us, because one thing that was so dope about Juice WRLD is that Lil Bibby and G Herbo had discovered him, who were two artists out of that scene who we both loved and who had both kind of graduated and continued on past that scene.
Yep.
And it was like to see them come back and give back to their city and was dope, and to find a fucking diamond in the rough and polish it and give it to the world. Like, wow, what bigger joy could you have as an artist, and then have your whole wave and be able to start another wave and whatnot. Like, that's fucking dope. And then you lose that person. They probably felt like he was their little brother, like they brought him up. So that has to be real tough on them. I mean, G Herbo's latest album is called PTSD, which is an incredible album. And one of the songs, literally the title track PTSD, is featuring Juice on it. And it's so sad, man.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And I'm sure that he's going through that now.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Coming out of that environment. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible how they were able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm gonna just freestyle because I don't even think so many other people realize what it takes to get out of that type of environment. And if you're someone who has gotten out of it, I think we sometimes look down on these people because they spend their money on this or on that or whatever. And it's like, man, if you're someone who has made it out of there, you're all the way up here. I mean, what's the life expectancy for a black guy? The system's working effectively. That's why. 21 years old, that's your life expectancy. So if you had just lived to 50 and done nothing else but lived to 50, you'd be exceeding all expectations, and it's like these are kids who at 20 have made it out and made millions, which is more than 99.999% of people from where they're from, and 90 point something percent of people from the US in general will ever do. And it's like so much respect to them, so much respect to all of the artists, so much respect to all the athletes and entertainers, and so much respect to all the people who also get out doing other things, such, in academics and just entrepreneurship and tech, just real respect to anyone who's had to overcome the odds. I don't think you can know or truly appreciate where someone is at without knowing where you're from. You can't know where you're going until you know where you've been. And knowing where some of these people have been makes me respect so much where they are. And it's sad to lose them because then you see where they could have gone. But with that being said, for everyone who's still with us, you got to be able to see that you also have that same potential within you, and not let this system and this world and all this media, which just kicks dirt on people who look like us, don't let that shit infect you, man. If your favorite artist made it out, you can make it out.